Isn't it funny how a love interest can really change the course of your path? It always starts with a boy, at least with me. I've always had issues with my love life and just picking the wrong people, not really knowing the consequences of having somebody that is not supportive of your dreams. So, with all of this, knowing this and learning this, I'm at a place in my life where I can actually go back and start learning from all the different mistakes that I've made and how it's changed the course of my path, how it's changed the way that I've thought of my business, my own thought processes, how I learn, how I manage my emotions or lack of thereof, everything. So when it comes to Dream Farmer, I can't really say that it actually started with the boy, but there was a moment that only my love interest at the time was able to kind of change the way that I thought about what I wanted to do in my life. So Dream Farmer started somewhere between 2005 to 2007. Is around that time where it just became legal, 18 years old, and I wanted to work. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to work. I've always been entrepreneurial. In high school, I sold chips to my classmates, me and my boyfriend at the time. And I also did hair on the weekends. And sometimes, if I was lucky, I was doing hair at school. So I was making money all of the time. But it wasn't until a few years of just being excited to be able to work, to be over 18 and having a job, thinking that $11 an hour was it. Like I stepped in a great position, not realizing that I had so much to learn. So it was then that I had this idea that I wanted to be somebody. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just knew that I wanted to be somebody. So my quest to learn from other people and to admire people was high at the time. Because when you're really starting out, when you realize that you have responsibilities as an adult, as a new adult, as a young adult, there is some excitement there. There's a lot of hope because you believe that you really can do anything. And it's true. You can do whatever you set your mind to. But that also comes with consequences. So this idea of me finding myself and figuring out what my purpose was started way back when in the early 2000s. 2005, between 2005 and 2007. That was also a time where I was a part of an organization that turned out to be a massive financial Ponzi scheme. And there was a lot that came out of that too. And that also changed the trajectory of where I wanted to go with my life at that time. That really changed things for me. But it wasn't that I am talking about. What I'm talking about is when I started being intentional about learning my learning and understanding myself and who I represent. That was the moment. It was dealing with the dude. It was dealing with the man. I have, let me clarify, because he is a man. He's not a boy. All right. This is just a cliche. As women, sometimes a lot of the stuff that we go through is all because of a man or lack of thereof. But anyways, that's neither here or there. The point is that when I was messing with this guy, he checked me about what I thought I wanted to be, what I thought I wanted to do in my life. And he started asking me, okay, well, where's your business plan? Let me see it. Let me see it. He always asked, let me see it in so many different ways. And I didn't have anything to really produce. Couldn't show him anything. I just knew that, I did hair on the side and that this is what I want to do. I was doing prepaid legal, but I really wasn't selling it that well. So I really didn't know. So with him being adamant about wanting to see what I'm talking about, what my business ideas wanted to see, I had nothing to show him. So I had to go back and create something. And that was the moment that I realized that I needed to start materializing this. I needed to get the thoughts that are inside of my head out. Somehow, some way I need to get it out. And then when I get it out, I need to work on it. I need to develop it because there's still a lot of question marks about myself. Like I still don't know. At that time, I hadn't really gotten into my full career yet. I hadn't even discovered what I really wanted to do in my professional work in my job. I was simply doing part-time work, hustle work on the side. But it was that moment that made me intentional about figuring out who I was. And I like to think that that is where Dream Farmer was birthed. All right. I've always been entrepreneurial. Mind you, I've always been entrepreneurial. Since I was a child, I've always learned how to look at opportunities. I've always had ideas. I understood the basic concepts of being an entrepreneur. And being entrepreneurial, had that mindset. But it wasn't until I messed with this dude that I became intentional about getting the things out of my head and working on them. And that became my life work. This is Dream Farmer. Dream Farmer started off with the mere idea of I need to make this idea of me being somebody into something that's tangible. So I searched up and down, researching, trying to figure out what I know now. I didn't know that there was a name to it, but I figured it out. It's actually called metacognition. I'm no psychologist, but when I started learning that there was an actual concept or that there were studies out there about learning your own learning, I realized that this is kind of the rabbit hole that I want to go down. This is where my curiosity is piqued. This is what I want to learn. This was all me. I didn't know much about it, but I knew that the way that I think and the things that I have questioned all my life has a lot to do with my ability to be metacognitive. And not everybody has that. Not everybody knows about that. Not everybody is aware that there is an actual concept of learning your own learning. You can actually intentionally learn your own learning. And when you do that, when you learn and understand how you are processing, how you are learning the information that is coming to you, it's much easier to set up a foundation to where you are guiding the specific information that is coming in and allowing you to decipher. You are picking your life work. You're picking the content of your life work. And that's what came to realization with Dream Farmer is that, there wasn't a specific content because I love information. And somebody told me, a really good friend told me, several people have told me that you can't be a jack of all trades. You have to pick one or a few things to master and then run with it. And I thought, you know what? That's actually really true. But at the same time, I can create a situation for myself to where I can still be curious and do a lot of different things if I choose to. But the foundation is not going to be set on that. It's going to be set on a few things that I have mastered. And so that kind of really helped me begin the niching process of, what does Dream Farmer stand for? this whole idea of that I can be somebody, that I can do something with my skills, started off literally just a simple idea of, yes, I know I can do it. I just don't know what I want to do. And then it turned into Dream Farmer. All right, what is a dream farmer though? That's going to be the next episode. But I just kind of wanted to share with you how this simple idea, and a boy of all people, helped me and turned my attention and my focus onto learning and finding purpose in that. Finding purpose with the things that I was learning about myself, the decisions that I was making about the content that I wanted to work with in my life, the type of content and the type of people that I want to work into my life. And of course, there's other things that I have added to me and Dream Farmer being to where it's at. But you have to think, this has been since 2011 is when I met this boy, and when I was actively trying to do something. No, I think it was 2009. Between 2009 and 2011, it's a lot of things that I was going through in my 20s, but nevertheless, I have been working on Dream Farmer for a very long time, trying to understand it, trying to build a relationship with it, trying to get to know it, trying to understand what God was placing in my heart and my thoughts about this. This literally has been formed of me constantly and consistently questioning and trying to find the answers to what it is that I love about myself and what I want to do in my life's work. And it really, if it had not been that boy, I think it probably would have taken a little bit longer, because I love to be in my mind. I love to stay there, and that's not good. But I think I probably would have been a dreamer a lot longer than I was. So thank you. You know who you are. Marky Mark. I'll say that. He really helped me out with that reality check. And so I'm really happy to say, this is what I do now. I am a full-time entrepreneur. I'm a full-time dream farmer. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is what I offer, but I will tell you this. Anything about Dream Farmer is going to be about teaching you how to be an entrepreneurial learner, or a better entrepreneurial learner, and how to turn your idea into a system that works for you. Literally, that works for you. How do you start with an idea and turn it into a system that works for you? So that's a little bit about me. I just kind of wanted to share, an interesting story about how this really all came about. At what point in my life did I started focusing and being intentional about finding my life work, finding my purpose, turning this idea into a daily operation. So look out for the next podcast, the next episode. I'm just going to be going over what a dream farmer is and what this whole thing is all about. Until next time, dream farmers, happy learning, happy learning, happy learning.